Title: A Twist of Fate. Once upon a time in a quaint little town, there lived a couple deeply in love. Emily and Jake had been together for 5 years, sharing countless memories, dreams, and aspirations. They were the epitome of a perfect couple, often seen holding hands, laughing, and supporting each other through thick and thin. Emily was an artist, her days spent painting vibrant canvases, while Jake was a dedicated teacher who inspired his students with his passion for knowledge. Their life together was filled with joy, and they had even started planning a future, discussing things like a cozy home and perhaps a family of their own. However, one day, as Emily was preparing for an upcoming art exhibition, she noticed Jake had been acting a bit distant. He would come home late from work, often distracted and lost in thought. Emily tried to brush it off, attributing it to the stress of his job, but deep down, she felt a nagging doubt. One evening, while Jake was out, Emily decided to go through some paperwork in their study. Among the papers, she found a receipt from a fancy restaurant, dated for a night she knew Jake had said he was working late. Her heart sank at the realization, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. With a heavy heart, Emily confronted Jake later that night. She asked him about the receipt, and at first, he stammered and attempted to invent a story. But as Emily pressed on, the truth spilled out like a broken dam. Jake confessed that he had been unfaithful, having shared a moment with a colleague who had caught his eye. He said it was a mistake, a weak moment he regretted deeply. Emily felt as though the ground had crumbled beneath her. The love she believed to be unshakable now felt fragile and shattered. After a long silence, she told Jake that she needed time to think. In the days that followed, Emily immersed herself in her art. Painting became her way to express the whirlwind of emotions she was feeling. Each stroke of the brush on the canvas was cathartic release, illustrating her pain, anger, and confusion. She sought solace in her friends, who offered support and encouragement. Jake, on the other hand, was left to reflect on his mistake. Filled with remorse, he realized how much Emily meant to him. He began to understand that his actions had consequences far beyond a fleeting moment of weakness. He wanted to prove that he could change, but he also understood that trust, once broken, was not easily repaired. After weeks of introspection, Emily reached a decision. She invited Jake to meet at their favorite place by the lake, where they had spent many happy moments together. With a heavy heart, she told him that while she loved him, she needed to prioritize her own healing. They both agreed that it was best to part ways for the time being. As time passed, both Emily and Jake embarked on journeys of self-discovery. Emily learned to find strength within herself, rediscovering her passion for art and focusing on her career. Jake, on the other hand, sought counseling to understand the motives behind his actions, aiming to better himself for the future. Months later, fate, in its strange way, brought them together again at a local art fair. They exchanged hesitant smiles, both changed yet familiar. They spent the evening talking, reminiscing about the love they once shared, but now with a new understanding of themselves and of each other. Though they knew they couldn't go back to what they once had, they also realized that perhaps there was a chance to rebuild, this time on stronger foundations of trust and honesty. They started to take small steps, slowly navigating the complex emotions that still linger between them, hopeful for the future but cautious of the past. In the end, love took on a new meaning for both of them, teaching lessons about forgiveness, personal growth, and the resilience of the human heart. And while their journey was far from perfect, it was undeniably theirs.